Well, Gus's death scene is something that my writers and I talked about for many, many months before it came the day that we actually shot it.
When even Vince mentioned that you're finally going to go, we have to do it. It's just right for the story. I said, it's right for the story. Let's go big.
And there were many thousands of man hours spent talking with various experts in their various fields, including Bill Pawlowski, our visual effects supervisor, and Greg Nicotero and Howard Berger, our prosthetic makeup and sculpting whizzes, geniuses.
Initially, my gut reaction was, okay, we need two pieces to really do this the right way. We need the prosthetic on the actor, and we will recreate as much as we can what it would look like to have half of the face missing. But I also recommended that we make a bust. We take a head cast of Giancarlo and sculpt the detail into it, not having to worry about the real actor's bone structure and everything, but actually sculpting in the clay head. So Giancarlo came up to the shop. We did a full head cast of him.
It was a very interesting process to not only get my head cast and figure out what that look may be.
From there, John Wheaton, who was our designer, we did a bunch of Photoshop renderings. The ear missing, the ear still there, the jaw missing, the jaw still there, the eye there. A bunch of ideas for Vince to look at.
And Vince and all of us would look at it, all the writers and the producers, and we'd all talk about it, and then we'd give him Vince's notes and everybody's thoughts, and they'd make adjustments. So that process took a little bit of time.
I think the thing that's most important is always have a 3D representation of what we're doing. Instead of, you can only get so far with Photoshop design work. So we sculpted a bust. Garrett Immel created this sculpture based on the artwork that we had showed Vince, and it was anatomically correct. You know, we put the bones where the bone should be, the jaw, the blown off jawbone, the eye socket, all that stuff. We matched as anatomically correctly as we could to what Giancarlo's real face looks like. And from that point on, we then sculpted a matching prosthetic that he would wear that simulated the exact same look.
Once this was all approved and everybody loved it, we went ahead and we sculpted a makeup. And this is actually the makeup that's going to go onto his face. So it's pretty much a duplicate of this damage, minus all these pieces that are all blown inward, you know, all the pieces that are missing, which will then be digital augmentation. Then I'll take a marking pen and then put little tracking marks over the makeup. That way the digital guys can then map sections that are here onto that makeup. It's a great use of doing practical makeup effects and digital effects, combining them together, because the plan is obviously that when the audience sees this, they will just be blown away by what has just happened to one of the main characters. It won't be like, wow, that was a cool effect, or that was a cool makeup, or that was a cool digital effect. It'll be shocking and gutting that this is what happened to this one character.
The day we shot this in the abandoned, this really was an abandoned nursing home that we shot in. It was quite a tense day for me. I was pretty nervous that day, and I was a little on edge because I knew I was running out of time. As always, when you're directing, you're running out of time. You're running short of time to get all the things that you want to get shot.
Am I correct in assuming he's calling me from inside saying everything's cool?
Yes, he is.
Very busy day. You know, I have a lot of makeup to go through. We have the first shot where I can just be sort of natural and normal, if you can call that, getting into the Gus character, trying to find a natural state.
The only mark.
And you get to go ahead.
I decided this morning that I would put on a different pair of glasses and I'd roll in the van as Giancarlo, just to sort of start a little easier. Because as soon as I put on my glasses and start to think about this Gus mindset, I become a little bit manipulative. I get a little more joy out of ordering my egg white omelet. I get a little more joy out of saying, when they knock on my door and say, we're ready for you, closing it back and waiting about 5 minutes and have some anticipation. So it's kind of cool that I'm in this really jolly place right now, but obviously I sink down into a deeper, more darker zone as I get closer to my destination and what I have to do.
I can do it. Absolutely.
We absolutely knew that season 4 was leading to the demise of Gus. We knew from the beginning. And it was not because we wanted to get rid of Gus Fring as a character, I can tell you that. It was a sad day when we realized that Gus had to go.
It's absolutely a big day as producers. I mean, having Vince here, our creator and executive producer here directing is so exciting for the cast and for the crew.
But my day will get a bit more grueling as we go on, as I start to make this transformation that I have to make to come to my ultimate demise.
You know, the funny thing about the damage of the room post-explosion, it takes an awful lot of work to make a room look so messed up.
This was, this morning, a nice pristine room. We took the window out, we put in our window, another window. We have about 3 sets of those windows. We accidentally put a couple holes in the ceiling here. Now the painters are doing the final touch to make it look like scorch marks besides the explosion, where the paint, you can see where the paint's peeling off the walls just from the heat of the explosion. And this is all done instantaneously, practically. So it's 9:30 in the morning and we're about done.
There's a real art to this, dressing it in just so that the place looks like a bomb really went off on it. Mark Hansen, my prop master in his prop department, came up with this great wheelchair wreckage so that the wheelchair looks like a bomb went off. You know, ground zero was under the seat of this wheelchair. And I remember looking at this damaged room and being so happy with it.
I love the way that the what's left of the glass frame is bent, and the way the what do you call them, curtains are blown out, and the ceiling looks great. And honestly, this is the main stuff we're gonna see. Yeah. So once we get around, this all looks great.
We went to look at the post-explosion look, and which was thrilling because Vince got there. We couldn't have been happier with it.
Okay. Great job. Great job with this.
And then dressing in a few last touches.
All right. Thank you, guys. Great job. Awesome.
Great.
You want me to use black dot on any of the bone?
It's gonna be this is the color, right?
Yeah, it'd probably be somewhere like in there. I'm gonna definitely gray it, or gore it up and gray it up a bit.
For this episode, we're just going to be augmenting the makeup appliance with digital effects.
Maybe even yellow, just something that we can really read.
The tracking marks will allow us to digitally replace part of the jaw and part of the side of the head as needed.
Yeah, probably about that size.
Okay.
And we can make it a little bit bigger by just.
Yeah, whatever you want.
Can you make it bigger while we're out on set?
I can do whatever you want.
Okay.
Yes. I can't make it smaller, but I can make it bigger. Okay.
The explosion that happens is a very real-world physical effect of this big steel door being blown off its hinges by a bunch of nitrogen mortars. There's huge canisters of very highly pressurized gas.
Today we're going to blow that door out. That's T.O.'s room. And what we have in there is some large air mortars, a lightweight door, a lot of debris. And we're going to do this non-pyro. It's a lot safer. And on cue, we'll blow that door out. We'll drop a picture. We'll drop some ceiling tiles. The light fixtures will drop down all at the same time. That door should end up somewhere where we are, right around here, I think, if all goes really well.
What looks like an explosion caused by a bomb is, in fact, a bunch of very powerful mortars releasing gas instantaneously in such a volume and such a quick snap that if you're standing in front of this door when this thing went off, you'd be killed.
I think that's it. These 2 panels, Ken, which else is dropping?
All 3.
We're prepping all of our pieces to fall off the ceiling. We have all remote trips on that stuff for the lights, for the ceiling tiles, for some dust, for some debris. Then when they're done inside and Vince okayed it, which I think he just did, we're gonna go ahead and start getting our air mortars in there and lined up for the door. On cue, Ken's gonna push the button that's gonna trigger all the mortars, which will blow this door off at pretty high speed. The second he senses that or hears that, Mike is going to trigger all of these to drop, and ideally, the wind and the door will catch them. and take them with them. I want some big pieces flying that way. And ideally, this door will come out a little bit sideways like this so that they can see the burn side of the door. That's our hope. And when it comes over here, it's gonna hit this to stop it, and we hope it, I don't think it's gonna knock this over, but I think it's gonna break over this.